Do I recommend this? I don't recommend this. They do scratch really, really easy. This is the hub. This is the brains of the entire car here. All right, welcome back to the channel, y'all. Today, we're going to be doing a 1-year honest review of the Tesla Model Y 2024. And I just wanted to give y'all just an overall honest review on what I've experienced so far. You know, some of the things that I like, some of the things that I don't like. So I'm going to go around and just talk about a couple of certain features just to give you all a good understanding of what I've experienced, maybe what to look out for if you're in the market for purchasing a Model Y or a Tesla in general. This will be the video that you'll want to watch. So stick around. It's been over a year now, and one of the things that I've noticed with the Model Y, and this may go for, just about any Tesla in general, but these 20-inch rims here, even though they look really, really cool, they do scratch really, really easy. As you can see, those are what they call curb rashes there. And so, yeah, I'm not too happy with that because I feel like any little bump into a curb, you're going to get that. Now, I've got a few of them, and I've been extra careful and not to try and hit the curbs, but I feel like any tiny little scratch, you're going to notice that. And so that would be the one thing about these 20-inch Tesla rims that I don't particularly like, even though I do like the design, is that they do scratch fairly easy. And so luckily, they're not as bad as I've seen other people online post, but nonetheless, I do have a few scratches. But overall, this car has been pretty awesome. I did a 3-month review a while back. You can check that in the channel. And I feel like over a year now, I've gotten to really know the car now, really got to experience what it's like to drive it day in, day out. This has been my daily driver, and I'm very happy with it. There's almost very little bad reviews that I have for this, or at least negative thoughts that I have over it, because overall it's been a very positive experience. This car has been a game changer for us. It is our family car. It takes us everywhere we want to go. We've been all over Texas with this, but overall, if you're thinking about purchasing a Tesla vehicle, I would always recommend to go do a demo drive. That's the best way to find out if it's going to be for you, and that way you get to get a good feel on whether or not it's going to be something that's going to fit your needs and your lifestyle. But overall, for the Model Y, it's been such a great vehicle for us. But it's one of those things where it just depends on the type of vehicle that you're looking for. But I'm going to show you guys a couple of things here. And so if we were to pop the hood here, the car is fairly spacious. This model came with what they call the parcel cover here. I think if you want to purchase this separately, it is about $70 to $80 on the Tesla store. Comes in handy every once in a while. We usually put our groceries up here, or if we have additional items that we want to put up here, we usually do. Sometimes it gets in the way. If you're trying to reach towards the very back, you kind of sometimes have to move this out of the way. Dust stain fairly easy, so I had this in my garage for a few days and it did get a little dusty, so I had to vacuum this out. But nonetheless, the trunk space fairly spacious, depending on what you're used to. You can always put the seats down if you're needing a little bit more space. There is a button somewhere out here. Yep, here it is. And if you press this button, that'll either do sort of the one side or the other side over here. So if you lift this section over here, you get more space. So we've got baby bag and a couple of other things. Got my Tesla air compressor down there somewhere. This is an accessory that I purchased not too long ago. This is an official Tesla air compressor. Been meaning to do a review on this one, but this one's actually pretty cool. I tested it the other day, and it actually plugs into the cigarette port there, lighter port there, and it actually inflates your tires. Actually not bad, actually, at all. So that's that. That's the back part of it. Got a button here to close. I'm going to show you a little bit about what it's like to get inside the car itself. So if you don't know, if you've never opened up a Tesla door before, they're a little bit different, compared to most cars. So the easiest thing to do is use your thumb. You press in, Handle pops out, open the door, and you're in. So here's what the inside looks like. We went with the white seats. If you have kids, you will find out quickly that they do stain. However, they do clean up pretty easily. So all you have to do is, if you see any stains, just grab a baby wipe and just wipe it off. So it cleans up fairly easy. Not a whole lot of buttons. You do get the scroll wheels on the steering wheel there. Here, let's take a seat inside. And when you're inside, see if you can see that there. You get a huge screen. So you got your main screen here, which basically this is the hub. This is the brains of the entire car here. This is how you control everything. The UI is pretty awesome. As you can see, the graphics are pretty cool. Very, very responsive to touch. You've got, your different apps. I usually like to listen to Spotify. You've got your maps if you ever want to go anywhere. This has been really, really great in terms of just overall usage and functionality. But you control everything through here, which was different for us. Coming from a Mazda vehicle, we had buttons all over the car, right? And so everything that you want to do is mostly controlled through here. Even the glove box over there. There is no button to open that, which is weird. Usually you have a button, you click it and you open it. But for here, you have to do it through the UI, or you could do it through voice control. You can press a button here and do something like open glove box. See that? So some people like that. Some people hate that. I got used to it. And so and you can actually customize your apps down here. I went with the windshield wiper option here because this is one of the things that kind of, I would say that I personally don't like too much, is that with your older traditional cars, you can easily control your windshield wiper speed via the side button over here, which you can program to do. But when it's raining and it's pouring and it's thundering outside, it's not safe to have to go and mess with a whole bunch of buttons just to get the speed adjusted for your windshield wipers. And so I just made it easy and I went ahead and programmed the button over here to control my windshield wipers. It's customizable. That's the good thing about this car, is that you can customize buttons, you can change things around. But my point is that everything is controlled through the screen here. You can even open up a browser, go through a different web page. You can even pull up, you've got Netflix, Hulu, YouTube, TikTok, Twitch. So if you ever park, if you're supercharging, you can just pop open Netflix here, start watching a movie, or start watching YouTube. Go check out the typical tech family on there if you haven't subscribed yet. But overall, I mean, the cars, it's comfortable. If you've got a family, we've got 2 boys, a 3 and a almost 9-year-old, and so they fit in here pretty comfortably. Now, if you have a larger family, older kids, then you might notice that it may be a little tight depending on the size of the family, but overall, it fits our needs and sort of what we have going on now. Now, I've said this before. I'll say it again. The seats themselves, at least from the driver's seat, it feels a little tight. Now, I've said this before. I'm not a fairly large fella, but there's something about this seat. Now, I don't know if maybe it's just this one particular build, but I do fit a little bit tight in this seat. I don't know, again, if it's just me. Comment down below if you feel the same way with your Model Y, but this seat feels a little too snug for me. I don't know if it's the material. I thought I'd be breaking into this, 1 year or a few months after having this, but it still feels a little tight. Not a game changer, not a deal breaker, but that's one thing that I did notice from this ride. You've got your wireless charging here. Now, one thing I did notice though, I'll show you. With our new iPhones, we upgraded to the iPhone 17s. They don't charge. Something about the Apple design, something about the MagSafe and the placement of this, it just won't charge. Now, here's the crazy thing. Here's the workaround, which is kind of annoying. You have to flip your phone around if you want it to charge. See, there you go. Now it's charging. Took me a while to find out how to do that. I had to look up a couple of reviews, went on Reddit, and somebody said, yeah, just flip your phone around if you have an iPhone 17 Pro Max and you'll be able to charge. Kind of annoying. Hopefully they fix that. It may be more of an Apple thing than a Tesla thing. I don't know if that's something that is going to be fixed, maybe via a hardware design or an update. To me, it sounds more of a hardware design change through the iPhone itself. Again, so not necessarily a Tesla problem, more of an Apple design change that affected the wireless charging capabilities. But yeah, just so you know, in case you haven't experienced that yet, I don't know if it's true for all models. Definitely did not have an issue with my iPhone 13 Pro Max, but once I went to the 17, that issue came up. But nonetheless, yeah, I also in this car itself, I went with the acceleration boost, and the acceleration boost allows me to go from 4.8 to 4.2 seconds, 0 to 60 and 4.2 seconds. Let's put it that way. You can do it via an upgrade. So basically, if you want your car to go faster, you pay for the upgrade, and over the air, you get an update and your car all of a sudden goes faster. Now, is it worth it? I don't think so. No, I wouldn't recommend buying the acceleration boost. It's $2,000. You do it through the app or through the software here. And within an update, your car all of a sudden goes a little faster. So definitely not worth it, in my opinion. Kind of noticeable, but not $2,000 worth noticeable, right? I wanted to give it a try just to see what it was about. I thought I was going to notice a significant bump in my acceleration, but it's such a small change that it's not worth paying that much money. So full self-driving, I pay for it on occasion. So if you don't know what full self-driving is, pretty self-explanatory. You pay $100 a month and the car will drive itself. Essentially anywhere you want to go. You just give it directions, you press a button, get your hands off. And now it is called supervised full self-driving. So you have to have a hand on the wheel, right? I usually just kind of like, rest my hands as I'm driving, but I usually only purchase it if I'm traveling out of town. It comes in handy, at least for me, when we're traveling, especially at nighttime on the highway. It helps me, especially if I'm tired and I've got my kids. I want to make sure that I have that extra set of eyes from the system itself. And what it does, it uses the cameras all around, and I'll show you the cameras outside in just a bit, to analyze and make decisions based on what it's seeing around the vehicle. And it can drive itself, right? So comes in handy. I don't pay for it every single month because throughout the city here, I don't really trust it too well. I've tried full self-driving throughout the city here, and it just feels strange to have a car kind of like pull up next to people and then it just makes me nervous, especially with kids in the car. I'm not comfortable. Now, a lot of people do it. A lot of people use the full self-driving throughout the city, no problem. But because I usually have kids with me, I feel like I need to be in control. I don't want the car driving me around, especially with my kids in the back. I feel more comfortable. Now, when I'm on the highway and I'm actually traveling intercity, then that's different, because that actually does help me make better decisions, especially at night. But totally up to you if you want to get it. But that's about $100 a month if you want to get the full self-driving. What else here? So yep, we have a sort of a shade, a roof shade here that we purchased from the Tesla store. Now, we did this because here in Texas, the heat is brutal, as you can imagine. And so we might end up taking this off throughout the winter. But if this wasn't on, you'd probably be able to see the sky. It's a bit tinted. So it's not full clear view of the sky, but it's still not tinted enough to block out the brutal Texas heat here. But yeah, we're gonna probably, like I said, remove this once it gets a little colder. But nonetheless, you've got your center console, you've got some storage here, you've got your cup holders. We purchased this plastic rubbery protective case. This is by Halo Black. This has come in handy because usually when we're buying drinks and we're buying, we go out and get food, we get drinks in here, and usually when they hand us the drinks may be, running, they're dripping. And so I probably need to clean this out a little bit better for now, but this has helped tremendously to ensure that the cup holder section here doesn't get full of a bunch of soda or any other drink that's dripping from the cups themselves. So this has been a pretty cool accessory We got this on Amazon, so not sponsored by these guys, but if you want to go check them out, I'll drop a link in the description. This is has been again a really good accessory. Another accessory that I recommend, based on my experience with the car itself, is going to be something like a phone mount here. We have an iPhone, so we bought this. This brand is what is Vixseed. Again, this is from Amazon. This has been pretty cool to have, because what it is, it's basically just a magnetic holder. You attach it in the back with the 3M tape there that it comes with. And when we're driving around, all I have to do is just put my phone here and I've got my phone, right? Because, otherwise then it'd be down here. And I usually don't like looking down when I'm driving. And typically you're not supposed to be looking at your phone either way, but it's good to have this here if I'm getting directions, or I'm trying to just kind of keep an eye on certain things on my phone. Don't recommend looking at your phone when you're driving, but this has definitely been a game changer. The magnet is very strong on this particular model. I've purchased products in the past that just don't hold your phone really well, especially for these larger Pro Max models. This one has been really good. I've been over some pretty deep potholes in the past, and these phones hold on really strong. Now, even trying to get this off is kind of hard. You got to push your finger off from the side of the magnet to like get it to fully remove. So actually really good, really good product there. Highly recommend it. If you are thinking about getting a Model Y, if you already have one and you're looking for accessories, this is from Vixseed. I'll drop a link again on this one as well. So let's move on to the some of the exterior stuff here. So I'm going to pop open the frunk. So by the way, you have a couple of controls here on the car itself. If I want to open up the frunk, which is the front trunk, I'm just going to click on the button. That opens up. Let me show you what that looks like. Let's go to the front here. Pop this open. Now, I went ahead and purchased the official Tesla cooler. As you can see, there's a logo on the front. It is specifically made for the Model Y, so if it fits really well. Do I recommend this? No, I don't recommend this. Well, I mean, we usually use it for storing hot takeout food, but for cold ice, the ice, it will not last. It is not insulated very well. We've added maybe 4 to 5 bags of ice in here, and they don't last longer than maybe 4 hours. After 4 hours, you'll see just a huge puddle of water in there. So not the best cooler in the market. However, it is handy again for food that you want to put in here, especially if it's hot food. If you don't want your food or your car stinking up with, Chinese takeout or any kind of food, we usually use it for pizza. So I put a pizza box in here whenever we're doing a pickup, but definitely not Yeti material. But it does come in handy for certain things like the foods. But for ice, even though it's an ice cooler, it's not the best product out there. And this is about maybe $250, I think, over in the Tesla store. So definitely not worth the $250. I'll tell you that much. But it fits perfectly in here. That's the only thing about it. Now, I did notice that last time, a day or two ago, when I removed the cooler, there was a bit of a scratch that it's leaving. So as the car's moving, it's starting to sort of scratch up the side of the inside of the frunk there. So I may be able to just clean that off, but nonetheless. So this is the frunk. You can store couple of things in there. Some people, again, like to put food in here when they're traveling or picking up food, but you can put whatever you want in there, really. Now, I did notice that this little plastic piece is starting to sort of unglue there. It looks like maybe they used some sort of adhesive. So it's starting to flap a little bit there. I'm assuming probably because of the heat. I may be able to just put some, some glue or some sort of adhesive there to put that back, but I did notice that the other day. But quality-wise, though, I mean, I haven't seen any issues, haven't had many issues. I did tell you guys this last time in the 3-month review. Whenever I picked up the car, I did notice there was a bit of a panel gap. You can kind of see it there. There it is. That's a better view. Nothing too crazy. I mean, it's not even that noticeable. But if you're going around with a magnifying glass trying to find something, I found that. And so one of the Tesla repair guys came out maybe a month after I purchased the vehicle. They came out here, they actually drove, and they come out to your house for specific repairs. He wasn't able to do too much about it. And so it is what it is. I know that a lot of folks have issues or have spotted issues when picking up their car from Tesla when they're up for delivery, but I haven't had many issues. But nonetheless, very very happy with it. Not that many issues. If you're thinking about getting one, I would highly recommend one for anyone. One thing is that it all depends on what you're looking to do and what you're looking to get. Now, if you are planning on getting one, I do highly recommend that you look into your charging situation. I'll show you this. Check this out. So before you purchase your car, I would highly recommend looking into where you're going to be charging your vehicle. We had an electrician come out here and install this outlet here. We didn't have this here, so we had to look for an electrician to come out here and inspect, assess the area. And I chose underneath the breaker box here. It was going to be more expensive if I were to get further out. Do some price lookup on how much this is going to cost you. This ran us about $800 to get this installed. Prices vary depending on your city. So highly recommend you look into how much it's going to cost you to get this installed, and make sure that you don't cheap out on this. You want to make sure that you get this done by a professional that is certified, because your car will be charging most likely a lot here. And so the charge for this type of connector is fairly slow, but it charges overnight. So if we are low on battery with the car, we just charge overnight. By the time we wake up in the morning, the car is fully charged. So we don't need to go to a gas station anymore, right? Your car charges here and you'll get a full battery. It plugs in via the connector here. I purchased this little mounting kit here. I didn't want to have my plug just dangling or hanging on the floor there, laying on the floor. So I purchased this again from Amazon. If you're interested, I'll link this in the description as well. But this comes in handy because you can just wrap your connector there and just plug it back in there whenever you're done. So this is called the mobile charger. This is not included with your vehicle. So if you're going to buy a Tesla vehicle, you want to make sure that you purchase the mobile charger. I think this is $250 to $350. I think the price changed a little bit recently. Additionally, right? So yeah, it doesn't come with a charging cable, right? So you gotta buy this separately, and this is how you charge your vehicle here. But overall, I'm very happy with the vehicle here. I know Tesla has a few discounts going on at the moment. I'm going to drop a referral link in the description. If you're interested in purchasing a vehicle, go ahead and use that, and you'll get, I believe it's up to $1,000 depending on the model that you're looking for. If you are thinking about getting one, let me know. Drop down some comments below. Let us know what you're thinking. If there are other videos that you'd like for us to record, let us know. Happy to record anything, depending on what you guys want to see here. But thank you all for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Give the video a like, and we will catch you on the next one.